What episode is this?
Episode 7.
7?
Yep.
Episode 7, Christ and Culture.
We're back.
Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Releasing
like
every
button.
week. Like the video, share it with your friends, socials, etc. We're talking about movies. What's your top 3 movie minor?
Ooh. It has to be 13 Hours, Fury.
Oh, actually, what's your favorite? I guess, what's your favorite comedy and then your favorite, like,
Comedy.
because you like action movies, but if you okay, what's your favorite non-action movie? Because I know you
Comedy? You want me to say comedy?
Comedy, it could be comedy,
A
it could be
rom-com.
romance, it could be.
Does
mean-
Marvel count as action?
We won't talk about comic books because everyone pretty much. I mean, we all like comic book
Okay.
movies, so we'll take those out.
Comic books then?
No.
No?
Don't talk about those because everybody. He just said we like those. Don't talk
Okay,
about
so
them.
then.
Not for
A
you,
good
non-action,
comedy?
because I know you're gonna say action. You're gonna say like the Expendables, 13
No,
Hours.
I got you in a comedy, but
I don't remember what it's called.
I remember, but I mean, can I say it?
What?
Wait, is it
Is it
controversial?
I mean, it's The Hangover. It's pretty.
Oh, The Hangover. That's
Can
that's
I
kinda-
say it?
The thing is, like, they don't make comedies no more, right?
They don't.
Yeah,
Rush Hour is
yeah.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Rush Hour is good.
Those
Yeah,
are
they're
old movies,
all. Recently, it's been like all action.
Yeah, I think with Jackie Chan's pretty funny. What else?
The Karate Kid.
What's your favorite motivational movie? Like movie
Ooh.
that motivates you, or a movie in your past that has motivated you,
Oh, that's a good
Or-
good question.
tugged at your heart, or made you cry. We'll do that. What's the last movie that made you cry?
It has to be a chick flick, honestly. I forgot which one
A
though.
rom-com?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, well, what is?
I forgot which one it was.
Last
Well, I'm
movie
trying to
made me
think the
cry.
last.
It was like where they both die in the bed. I think.
The
you guys know?
Notebook.
The
I think
Notebook.
that one was good.
That's
That
an
movie's
old
so
movie.
old.
But
It
it's
is.
usually everyone's movie that made them cry.
The Pursuit of Happiness. That movie.
The
made
Pursuit
me
of
cry.
Happiness is, in my opinion, one of the best movies.
It's a
ever.
good movie. Yeah.
Story, the best story. It's
There's.
a good story.
What's it called? Let me see if I.
I love. I recently saw what's it called? I saw The Big Short. That's a good movie. It's on Netflix right now.
What's it about?
Crow.
And The Spotlight is an amazing movie as well. So The Big Short is about the financial crisis that's in 2008.
Is that the one with?
Steve Carell's in it.
It just came out, right?
No, it came out a while back. Batman is in it.
Which Batman?
The Dark Knight Batman.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale's in it.
For real? What?
But yeah, and The Spotlight's an amazing movie. It talks about the Catholic Church. I don't know. What is everything that happened with the Catholic Church a few years ago? That's a really good movie. So, it's a true story movie. But transitioning, let's talk about this story we have here going around the headlines. So this story came out on my TikTok, or came out on my feed a few weeks ago, and then again more recently. So I think it's an interesting topic that we could discuss. So basically, this social media personality or YouTuber, his name's Gideon. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not.
Gideon?
I think that's how you say it.
Gideon has he's big on YouTube, so he has, I think, close to 8 million subscribers, and he does like pranks and stuff like that. He's a comedy YouTuber, but recently, I don't know how recent because I'm not really that in tune with the story, but I did read some headlines and a couple pieces here that he is considering quitting YouTube because he wants to be more real for God.
Okay.
And then the funny thing is, like, I don't know if y'all seen those TikTok videos when someone goes to you and says, like, if you died right now, would you go to heaven?
I seen those.
Yeah. So basically, they did that to him, and like he got like, I don't know if he got scared or anything like that, but it kind of like put everything in perspective.
Yeah.
So basically, he's like, oh, I need to quit TikTok because every time not TikTok, YouTube, every time I do this, he feels like it hurts his relationship with God. So I don't really want to talk about this specific situation because we don't know all the dynamics to it, but I want to talk about it. How do we know when we should give up something that we do for God? Like what in your specific lives, how do you know that you need to sacrifice this or that God is asking you to do so? Right? Because for Gideon, Jajon, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's Gideon.
Gideon?
He feels like God is telling him to move away from YouTube. But the interesting thing is, like, for any one of us, right, that's okay. But
Yeah.
for him, that's probably his livelihood. That's probably
Yeah.
where he makes all of his money. And then that's where it gets tricky. So he's done other podcasts, I think, with George Janko when he's like trying to speak into him where basically you don't have to leave YouTube, but you could still serve God and do YouTube. But I mean, I don't know about that. But for you specifically, we'll start. We'll go circling around. How do you know when something that it is time to give up something that God is asking you to give up something? And do you have an example of this? I don't know who wants to start with this topic. I think this is interesting.
I guess it's like when and it's like separating you, like having time for God, I guess. And that's for me, I guess. Like whenever something, for example, like one thing I could say, like whether it's gaming or hanging out with friends too much, or like just allowing something to replace the time that I have with God, is something I feel like the Holy Spirit tell me like, hey, like you're wasting your time. Like, what about like you setting time for God? Or, I feel like that's something, whatever, notify me or like tell me like, hey, like you need to, set your time.
But do you think, like, you gave examples of like hanging out with your friends, right? Like gaming. Do you think you have to give it up, or just like
I have
spend
to-
less time on that? Because
Yeah,
he's thinking of like
like actually
quitting his
giving,
job. Yeah,
quitting. Okay, yeah, you're right.
like I think there's a difference between like, oh, I have to like stop this because it's hindering my relationship with God,
Mm-hmm.
rather than like, oh, maybe I should focus, like set my priorities straight.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good question.
I don't know.
In
I
my
think
life?
if you realize that your relationship with God isn't the same as it was before you were doing it,
Mm-hmm.
then
Then that's where you
maybe
would call.
that's where, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Has it ever happened to you though?
no, I don't.
I mean, it could be
Right,
as
right.
it could be as major as like, for instance, this, like, I don't know if this is like a publicity. So I don't know. It might be real. It might be. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've never seen a video of his, but it could be as drastic as that. It could be as maybe something we may see insignificant as
Okay.
watching a TV show
Yeah, there you go.
or listening to certain type of music or hanging out with certain friends like
Yeah.
that. Like, I think a lot of people when they come to Christianity is like they come to Christianity, but then they also have this baggage in which is their friends, their previous life, their previous habits. Like, how do we jumpstart the transformation process?
Yeah.
And I think that's the difficult thing, because there are a lot of people that have the good intentions in which they want to get closer to God, but they also don't want to leave their friends or their comfort zone of their life.
Yeah.
And how do we know that that's coming from God or whether that's coming from just self-guilt? Because I think that's the important question that we all have to answer for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because to be a Christian, I could say a Christian, but you can't tell I'm a full Christian based on my words. You tell by someone's actions.
Yeah.
Of course.
So how do we know what God is asking us to do versus what our self-guilt or a pastor or a church or our peers or our family is kind of like forcing us to do? Like, how would you answer that question in your own personal life?
I don't know. I think it's different because, well, I mean, I don't know if there is, I don't know how to put it into words. Like, I don't think in my life it was like I wasn't a Christian. I was a Christian, right? Like, my whole life has
You were
been
surrounded. Yeah.
in church. So for me to be like, I had to give up these things that were like not getting me closer to God. I don't think I've ever had to do that. Did I have to make changes in my life?
Mm-hmm.
Like before, I mean, when I was younger, I didn't really understand what like the Holy Spirit was or what it meant to have a relationship with God. So did I have to change my idea of that? Yes. But it wasn't me giving up something. It was me just like reforming my what I thought was having or I guess learning what it was to have a relationship with God. So it's kind of hard for me to be like in that mindset of like, how do I give this up to get my relationship closer with God, or like how to feel that, because I don't know, it's like a foreign concept to me.
Because again, you were surrounded by church.
Yeah, because it wasn't like there wasn't like a, well, I don't think there wasn't like a major transformation, like a 180, you know, like it was just like me slowly growing up in church and learning to get to where I am now.
I guess with me, I could say is like, you know, giving up friends who were not, you know, and also like the way I would speak, because back then, you know, I would curse and stuff like that. And I guess like those, like, you know, like stuff I had to give up and change.
But why?
Why?
Like
Because
how did you get to that point where like, oh, okay, I need to stop doing that, or I need to stop hanging out with certain people?
well, at the end, because I would feel like, you know, like something in my heart, like saying like this ain't right, or I would feel dirty from the inside. I'm like, I can't be around this. Like I have to change who I hang around, what I say, how I speak, how I act, and that's something like I felt in my heart. And I was like, you know what, I had to minimize these people and just surround myself with, even if it's a small group. And from there on out, like, sure enough, like, even though it was just 4 of us, like, to this day, I still, you know, like, get in contact with those friends because we helped each other, and they also kind of were based around the church, and with that, like, you know, it helped us kind of grow and mature. So, yeah, like, I guess, like, that would be my, like, you know.
Yeah, I think there are two paths for it, because there are the new Christians where, I mean, it's a lot easier to see things that you need to change. For everyone's situation is different, but then there's also kind of the like us that have been Christians for a long time, where we don't do anything that particularly bad per se, but there are also things that we have to fine tune in our lives in order to either A, be better Christians, B, have a greater relationship with God, or C, be better leaders. So you can look at your lives and say, you know what, I don't do anything that terribly bad, but then there are also things that are taking place of where you can make time for God. And the Bible defines an idol as anything that takes time away from God. So when we think about like that, even working in ministry can have a negative impact in our relationship with God. Because if the only thing we're focusing on is titles or power or influence, even doing this, like, it could hinder a relationship with God, because we're focusing on the praise that comes with it instead of the work that we should be doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difficult part that a lot of Christians don't understand, is that yes, church is important, yes, serving is important, yes, this, that, and the other is important, but the number one thing or that we should be striving for is have a greater relationship with God. So in that case, with that sense of thinking, like, is there anything in your life right now that you would change, that you are working on in another space? Because I think there's a lot of people that we can connect with that are probably in our shoes. Like the majority of our viewers are probably Christians. They probably grew up in church as well. Like, is there anything in your life that you've seen, that you've noticed, that you've had to work on in order to strengthen your relationship with God recently?
I think for me, it's been a lot of, like, obviously my job is important, right? Like, it's what I have to do in order to, like, have a living.
Yeah.
Like financial wise and all that stuff, right? But I've noticed, or I've caught myself like caring too much about my job, and like that it's hindered me from doing other things, like focusing on my spiritual life. And I like that's why I said it's not like I'm not gonna, well, as of right now, I haven't felt like Holy Spirit telling me like give up that job, right? But I do need to reprioritize how, or like set myself a schedule, or like do something in order for me to have my top priorities be what they used to be before like work consumed.
Yeah. And before Minor speak, I think this is interesting because y'all kind of grew up like in ministry since you were like teenagers. So the difficulty with that is like you were in ministry since before you had adult responsibilities. So you're in ministry, and when you're a teenager, that's your pretty much one of your greatest focuses. So as soon as you jump into the adult time, the adult responsibilities fall on you, and you're like, well, I've never had to do this before, and this is difficult. So I see where that's coming from. Kind of similar with me, like when I work from home, and like my wife could attest to this. I stress like trying to hit figures, trying to hit goals and stuff like that, and it does, like when I fail, when I falter, like it does impact, like it impacts my like attitude, like just I don't know, like my tone, like my I don't know, just and yeah, like balancing work and church life, especially when you're kind of full-time work and then also kind of like full-time ministry without the pay, it is super draining. Like I don't know, Minor, have anything to add like in your situation?
Oh, well, when I was a teenager, well, it was a lot different. I actually like loved it because every day, like my church, like I was surrounded with people like who were older than me, and they would encourage me like every single day, like after school, like I would go, like whether it's missionary stuff or evangelizing, or even like a church service. We had 2 days, which was Wednesday and Thursday, but Monday, Tuesday, we would do all those things like outreaching and stuff like that. It was different. I was really like motivated in that, but once I came to like adulthood, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't really have much time to like, or energy as I did when I was a teenager, like to be like, oh, let's do this and that. I'm just there like, whoa, like, hey, this is like, I have like a toll on this, you know, like it's kind of heavy now. But at the same time, I should still, you know, like have that mindset, like, you know what, even though it's a little, you know, drag, adulthood, work and everything, still give it my best, you know.
Yeah, well that what you touched on is like from doing ministry when you were a teenager to do. Did you work like, I don't know, what exactly did you work with, like in what areas? Was it music the whole time?
It was music. We would do evangelizing. We would knock at doors and just, you know, read the word, and also we would go to like other houses and we do like little teachings. That was the evangelizing. The missionary parts is where we basically, yeah, it was kind of like with people who will come from other countries, and we would kind of like, you know, help them, and basically they would do kind of like the same thing, outreaching, preaching and stuff like that. If it wasn't that, then we would go to house to the same thing, and I would just, you know, play the guitar as well there. That was.
But you were a teenager.
I was a teenager.
Yeah. So, did you ever feel weight on your shoulders?
Never. When I was there. Never.
Why do you think that is?
I guess it was like just like the right people. I was surrounded by teachers, people who were like madly in love with God.
Do you think it was more that, or more like you were just naive to everything? Like,
I think it was more that.
I don't think you noticed. Maybe they
Like-
felt like, oh my God, I have so much, like so much
but that's
stuff
the
to
thing.
do.
They were older.
That's why I'm
they
saying-
worked construction, but they were super excited to do that.
at that church you were at, did the pastoral leadership, were they full-time ministry, or did they have other jobs? as
Full-time
well?
ministry.
Okay,
Full-time ministry. Yeah.
so that's interesting. How about now?
Now,
Do you feel weight on your shoulder? Like, let's
Yes.
just be honest. Like, because now you're kind of like on a pastoral leadership team. I think we're all on pretty much. Do you feel like weight on your shoulder?
oh yeah, like basically like understanding like, hey, like I have to work, I have to get a degree, I have to, you know, change, have better time management, and I'll just mature in so many ways. That brings a toll on you. And then with church, you want to do so many things, but you're like, wow, I feel so exhausted, you know? But at the same time, I still have that fire in my heart saying like, oh, I just want to do more stuff, you know? But I guess it's just like, you know, that just, you know,
They
like
clash.
they
Yeah, I
clash
mean,
with
it's
each other.
a natural. I mean, that's why ministry is so difficult.
It's because you are like,
I need a charger.
regardless of how
Abby.
how
A charger, please. My laptop charger, or you could just take my laptop.
regardless of how much you're like you live your spiritual life on the daily, right? Like you're still living two separate lives.
Yeah.
Like you have your ministry life and then your work social life. Like regardless of how much they
Intertwine.
Like, intertwine, yeah. You're still gonna have to like balance people who are in that same boat with you, like living those two lives, and then people who just don't get it.
Yeah.
I guess with me, like, I kind of shifted how to do that in my everyday life. Like with me, I try to have that positive, attitude. Like you guys see me here in church, like I try to have that every day at work. So I'm like, all right, like because I thought about it one time. I was like, how am I gonna do this? Like with work and school, like how am I try to do the ministry? I'm just there like I have to be positive, even though sometimes I don't want to go to work. Sometimes I don't want to do it. Sometimes I'm just there like, I'm like, hey, be positive around other people, because then you could be impacting their lives, and that's something that I've seen lately too, and like been praying for other people, so that's something you see God using you as well. It's pretty cool. Honestly.
Yeah, I always remember Pastor T.D. Jakes doing an interview. He said, being in leadership sometimes means pouring out to everyone and then leaving in your car crying after because you have nothing left.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not to say that that's every leader, but there are times when you do feel like that, when you're just so overwhelmed by work, if you work, family life, bills to pay, because bills don't disappear when you're in ministry, being a pastor and so forth, all that comes with it. Like it does weigh down on you, and leads us back to like this situation in which, like, when do you know to give up something when God is asking you to do? And I think that's one of the bigger hurdles that we have as Christians, in which, when are we supposed to give up something for God? And that's the question that we all have. And that's why we see some people like, oh, I don't need to give this up. I can handle it. And I don't know. I think that's a super interesting question, that the Bible tells us to give up everything that keeps us away from God, but that's where it becomes sticky, because technically everything, and we can't do nothing, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that's the way we should be living. I don't know. I just don't know.
somewhere.
I just do think it's interesting, and I'm interested to see what happens with this story. I don't know. Like, hopefully it's not a publicity stunt, and hopefully it doesn't go away, right? Because the amount of influence that he has, he could change people.
I do have a question
Yeah.
regarding the situation. Do you think that there is a difference between like us, right? We're not famous. We're not like celebrity, like to that status. Well,
Yeah.
to any status. I'm not celebrity at all. Is there a difference us living our Christian life and to somebody like that living a Christian life? Like, because regardless of whether it should or should not happen, if he decides like, oh, I'm going to be a Christian, there's going to be high standards of like what the expectation of a Christian looks like. Do you think that that's fair?
It's not fair, but also when you have that type of influence, that's just generally what comes with it. So that is kind of similar to the line of thinking in which a pastor cannot mess up in public. As we talked about a couple episodes ago with the situation with Pastor Tim Ross, like, he cusses in the quiet of his room, like no one cares. He cussed on his platform, and it became a whole controversy. So I think it's not fair, but kind of like you don't get the blessing without the burden. So his blessing is the amount of influence that he has. He has 8 million subscribers. That's a blessing for him. It is I imagine that it has changed his life completely and is probably going to change the life of his entire family and his kids. But the burden is that there is responsibility with that amount of influence. Anything he says, he could cause a controversy, right? Because he could, I mean, I don't want to say that example, but for example, if a pastor is going to be judged for what he preaches. And I don't know if he's going to be judged for what he says, but that weight is going to be on him. And I think that's what he's feeling if he is genuine, that he cannot do this because there's going to be so many eyes on him that when he does mess up, because he is going to mess up, he's going to have to cross that bridge.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I don't think it's fair, but that's just the way it is. I mean, the greater the platform you have, the less room for error you have.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, right?
I think also, like, for me, whenever I see, and it's probably like, I should probably change that, but whenever I see like a celebrity's like, I'm going to be a Christian now, it's like, like, are you really? Because there's so many celebrities who are like, oh, I'm a Christian, but then you see what they do in their everyday life, and it's like, but what you're doing doesn't show that, or like, to what I believe the Bible says a Christian is, you're not showing me that you are. So it's kind of tough, like, I guess for Christians to, when they see like somebody who is a celebrity like that, to be like, oh, I'm going to be a Christian now. To be like, oh, like that's somebody that we can not look up to per se, but like maybe like follow their story or follow what they're doing. And then you see like, hey, what you're doing doesn't align with what I believe.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, that could be like, there's a lot of reasons for that. One could be they don't know what it is to be a Christian. They think a Christian is just believing in God or giving thanks to God when they win an award.
Yeah.
And I mean, to a certain extent, there's really nothing like you and I can do about that. But as a whole, that means that somewhere along the way we messed up. Somewhere along the way we gave the wrong impression of what it is to be a Christian. And I mean, this goes back to the days of the Apostle Paul, right? Okay. So what was the reason why he wrote all these letters to these churches or to these people, right? Because he wanted to correct them and said, guys, you guys are living, like, this is not what it is to be a Christian. And he would correct them with love in his letters and in his preachings. And it's kind of like, that is what we should be doing as a church, right? Not to say go out and call people out and say, Justin Bieber, you're not a Christian. Don't stop saying you're a Christian or anything like that. But we should be giving better examples of what it is to be a Christian.
Yep.
And that's the unfortunate part of today's society that we live in. The Christians that have the greater influence might not be the best Christians, right? And that's unfortunate. And also kind of the reason why Christianity somewhat has a bad rep. Yeah, right now. Because the people that are the loudest are not necessarily the best representations of a Christianity. Right?
Yeah, it's like two extremes, right? Like really laid back Christians and then like extremist Christians.
Yeah. And
Christians.
Yeah, it's like, so like who's the first, like if you were to ask a random person, who's the most like loudest Christian in the world right now or in the United States? Like that always goes back. Like, I'm a Christian, I have Christian values. Like I'm trying to think. I don't even know the answer to that.
And a Republican candidate.
Yeah, it's probably not even a pastor. Like it's not right. And it's just like, not to say that they're not Christians, but I mean, because of the industry that they're in, they can't really be who they're called to be. Because if we're talking about a political leader, those people are so whatever that comes out of their mouth is whatever lines their pockets most of the time. And I mean, maybe there are some honest ones out there, but I mean, they haven't.
I think it's also controversial for somebody to be a Christian in that industry or like in famous circles. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't remember specifically where it was, but it was like at an award show, And the guy was like, I want to thank God. And like everybody was cheering for him. And then he said that and like it was just silent. Yeah. They were, and like nobody clapped after that. Like, so when he mentioned God, it was like, okay,
no more.
like no more. We're not going to clap for you anymore. And I saw it on Twitter somewhere and I was like, that's crazy. Like he just said like, I want to thank God, and like silence.
Yeah, I mean it's not right. I mean right now it's not popular. Like it's just
No, it's not.
it's because of the connotations that come with what it is being a Christian nowadays. Like let's just be honest. What are the connotations right now? Like you hate. You're hateful. Like you don't want people to have freedoms, and that's basically what people think Christianity is when it's not supposed to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the two greatest commandments that talks about in the Bible? What are they, Minor?
Two greatest commandments. Well, New Testament or
yeah, New Testament. Love
New Testament to love your God with all your heart,
Yeah.
with all your soul, with all your mind,
and then
with all your strength, and to love your neighbor.
yeah, love. Like that's basically what we're called to be. And when you talk about Christianity, the connotations that come with it on the grand scale, I don't know where love falls into place. Maybe it's like the 10th thing that comes up. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
And I wonder. I think like, is that our fault? Is that social media's fault? Is that I don't know. I just don't know. Like it's just interesting topic to discuss. And also we also have to remember that social media is not real life.
It's not.
Yeah.
Like I think especially like I think like I read a stat a few years ago. It might be wrong now. Like the amount of people that are on Twitter, like specifically, is like 1% of the world. Like it's just crazy.
Really?
So Twitter's like an echo chamber of what you want to hear.
Yeah.
It's not real life. But I don't know.
That's
Like
crazy.
I don't know about Facebook. I imagine there's a lot more people on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
But
Yes.
Facebook is completely like it's funny because every social media is like its own thing.
Yeah.
Like Instagram is, I don't know I'm not on Instagram. I don't know what the consensus is on Instagram.
It's just picture. Like it's your best pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the
Like
highlights.
you're not gonna post like you looking ratty and
I was gonna say that.
Right,
Other
like-
word.
Instagram is like an industry for modeling, right? Instagram
Yeah.
models nowadays,
I
basically.
mean, yeah. Or like
Also
influencers and
connections.
stuff,
I think that's
yeah.
how people connect more, like
Yeah,
in
it
dating
is.
and stuff like that. What's your Instagram or connect?
What's your IG?
Your friends.
That's me Snap.
That's what Minor says. I don't know.
Snap.
Minor still uses Snap. I have no idea what Snap
That's
is.
the IG Snap.
If somebody's like, "What's your Snapchat?" I'm like, "Bye."
Sometimes I still
Are we
want to
in
say number, but I'm
2009?
like, I can't say number.
You can.
Not everybody.
Now
Nobody has phone
Apple
numbers?
did the thing. We were talking about it.
Not everybody has phone numbers anymore.
They do, but they find that. too
Well,
personal.
they don't call, right? People, your generation doesn't call anymore.
No.
That's weird.
No. We FaceTime.
Yeah, FaceTime.
That's so weird.
We
But
FaceTime.
don't FaceTime me without me knowing.
I don't know.
If somebody FaceTimes me and I wasn't prepared for that call, I just won't answer.
Prepare for the call.
Who do you FaceTime? Like
Me?
You FaceTime a lot?
I FaceTime friends,
Like
family.
your sister and stuff. Like when you call, like for example, you'll FaceTime. You won't call. You'll
Yeah.
FaceTime.
I'll FaceTime my cousins. Yeah.
It's weird.
Sometimes I just
That
give
is
them a
weird
double
though.
chin.
Oh, that's why you got to go.
It's the
this-
same
Yeah,
thing.
it's
I mean, it would be
all
the same
close
thing
up.
as calling.
That's why I think
really.
You just want to see their face. But like, I don't call my mom. I
But
FaceTime.
I think-
FaceTime her?
I FaceTime.
I think
her.
there is an advantage to FaceTime because you see people's reaction
Yeah.
to what you're asking them.
Yeah.
And when you're calling, you be like, "What's wrong with this guy?"
Or texting.
And they can put you on mute. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Or they laugh at you. and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
put
yeah.
Like on text, you're like, okay, and you can read it as like, okay.
The question is,
Or,
does Abby
okay.
FaceTime you a lot?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She does, right?
Like, there's no sarcasm in text messaging.
Yeah.
Abby FaceTimes me? No.
Unless you put the emojis or the
Abby calls.
GIFs or
Sure, face-
stickers.
I receive calls from Abby.
Yeah, because we come from the generation where it was like texting, emojis. Emojis came up when we.
It
were-
wasn't emojis. It was parentheses.
No,
Yeah.
we're not that
Those-
old.
those
We're not that
semicolons
old.
and, you know.
We're not that
Those.
old.
I used that in middle school.
I used to
Well, I didn't have a phone in middle school. I got a phone my senior year of high school. So, yeah.
That was your
And
time.
you used like colon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I.
I didn't use that.
Mike's
The
like,
winky
we're not
face.
that
No,
old.
the winky
Like,
one.
Actually, I might have been, but I
XD.
don't think I used them.
Yeah.
My first
now
phone
it's
was a
used, like,
Razor.
ironically, but
2008. Good times. I wish we can go back to that
Right.
times.
Right?
you have to like press the one like 4 times.
Oh, those. Yeah.
What was your first phone?
Mine was an LG flip.
The horizontal one?
Yeah, but it was a touchscreen, and then
I like a sidekick.
So weird.
Mine was
wannabe
like a
section.
little. It was like a little brick, like that. It was the screen was like an inch.
Yeah. It's funny because like at that time, the smaller the phone, the better the phone. It was weird. Well, when I was growing up, because
the
they had
little where you just switch it.
yeah. Well, I didn't have the old flip phone. I had the Razor phone. That was like the best flip phone ever.
Right, like the
Oh,
razor
the,
that
like
goes
the
this.
squared one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a screen on the outside, and then you would flip it up, and also a screen on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I got like a
BlackBerry.
BlackBerry, like all the new stuff that started coming out, and then finally an iPhone.
When was your first time getting an iPhone? Like what year was that?
Yeah, it was probably like 2012, maybe.
Oh wow.
2012.
And those were like the small ones, right? At that time.
iPhones, I guess.
I didn't have an iPhone.
I don't remember what iPhone it was. Maybe like iPhone 7 or 8.
Really?
Yeah, like
7 or 8?
yeah.
What? Not even.
In
iPhone 7?
2012.
Yeah, so right now they're iPhone 15. So just do like 7 years ago. Yeah,
Not
it's
even.
roughly around that.
When did you get an iPhone?
I got the iPod.
Yeah, so did I.
the one
we
we
all
talked
had
about.
iPods. Everyone.
Yeah,
had
but-
No,
iPods.
but I used my iPod as a phone.
So you waited to get an iPhone, basically.
No, because so I was with T-Mobile. T-Mobile didn't get the iPhones until like 2012 because of the agreement. Like
So you didn't get like the iPhone 4 or the iPhone 5?
no, because I had T-Mobile. You couldn't.
Oh.
You would have to. The only way you could do it is buy it and then unlock.
Not
the phone.
sponsored by T-Mobile.
Oh, I see. That's because I heard you say like the first iPhone.
So as soon as T-Mobile
Was it 7 or
introduced the
8?
iPhone like to their lines, that's when I got it.
7 or 8? 2012?
I don't know exactly. Maybe it was the
No.
9 or 10. No, it couldn't be that.
In 2012?
Well, you tell me. Well, I don't know.
I have an 8
Minor
Plus.
has an
Okay.
8 plus. That's why.
And that's in 2019 or 2020?
We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Hold on.
Yes.
I didn't have an iPhone until I was in college.
I'm making you look bad that you have that I had your phone like 8 phones ago.
Yeah, I know. 8 years ago, I'm like, what?
Hold on.
Minor still hasn't upgraded.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
since 8
okay,
years
so
ago.
in 2012, the iPhone 5. So maybe it was the 5.
Oh, okay.
So your phone, you have what phone do you have?
8 plus.
8 plus.
In 2017.
2017. We're gonna do a GoFundMe so you
Go
can
fund me for Minor.
upgrade your phone.
Right. It's still nice though. I
But
like to
he
keep mine.
has the ability to upgrade. He just
No, they're
has
I
super
do,
it.
expensive
but I'm
now.
not. I'm
The
not-
first iPhone I got, I paid cash.
Oh, damn. Now that it's
I was
like
gonna have financial aid
$1,000.
rolling in.
I know. The new phones are like what, 1,000 or close to 2,000
right,
close
yeah.
close
The
to like
newest ones,
1,500.
right? Yeah.
It's crazy.
per phone? It's crazy.
But nowadays your phone's like your
How much was
everything.
yours?
This one I got a
It was free.
AT&T has a promotion, 2-year contract.
Not sponsored by AT&T.
Honestly,
Now
their
it is
service
sponsored by-
their service is bad. Like I regret
It is bad.
I regret going AT&T.
Oh, okay.
but if you want to sponsor us, then I mean, it's great.
But nowadays you pay monthly. Like no one buys phones.
You put it on your credit.
Yeah, it's like leasing a car. You're gonna upgrade either way, so might as well.
Because I always want to get the good one at the end of the year, but they always come up with a no one.
Every year
Well,
they
yeah.
come out. I don't know. That's
I was going to get the 13, the blue one. And I was like, okay.
well, if you get the 13, it's cheaper now because
It is.
It just
You
released.
can
that
trade
one.
in your phone.
I was thinking about,
I'll give you like $10 for.
I was thinking about LGs now. I was like, they have a better camera.
Now I've seen the Samsung ones,
Oh,
the flip ones,
Samsung
and I'm
probably
like,
does.
ooh, I
The
want one of
Samsungs.
those. But then I'm
Samsungs.
like, I don't know.
You've been so long with iPhones that
if Samsung had blue bubbles on their messaging, because it.
But you're gonna be using a Samsung, so it doesn't really
blue
matter.
bubbles. Just
How
because of
about
that.
Yeah. People don't want to put you in group chats because of that.
Yeah, that's true. You can't.
Because you mess up the group chat.
Yeah.
Why? It's just a color.
You don't remember?
I know.
Yeah.
What was so wrong about that?
It's
It's just
just you
weird.
can't if you can't thumbs up now.
Yeah,
on
even
a
like the
green-
emojis
You
change.
can't do the-
Now I think now you can. I think they updated that.
Okay.
But you couldn't if if we were in a group chat and there was one Android and you thumbs up, it's like mine are just thumbs. Like it sends you a text telling you like.
It's annoying. It's like Ford versus Chevy, or I don't know.
Letting you know out loud.
Yeah, like
what do you
telling the
have?
whole group chat like mine are just thumbs up this post or this message.
Oh, man. Okay, I see what you mean now.
But well, what I've seen online is like we use iMessage, but people everywhere else use WhatsApp.
Yeah, because it's international.
No, yeah, that one is.
I have WhatsApp, but I don't even.
I haven't used that one
I used it in
a
college,
while.
but
Yeah, I use WhatsApp.
in college.
And with church too, right?
I don't text
in
anybody.
college, yeah,
The people
that's
that
what
text
we
me
do
don't
too.
text me back.
Oh no, I lied. I
That's,
recently started
I-
using it too.
I was talking to a pastor this week. He's a little bit older than me, and he's like, "All these Gen Zers never text back," and I'm like, "Yes, exactly." I was like, "I tell him just put a thumbs up, something," and he's like, "Y'all generation is different." Like, yeah, what that like
He
I
just
rather
wants a
do
reaction,
that.
right? Yeah.
Some people like I don't know, like
Sometimes I forget. Like I'll type out the text and I'll forget to send it.
5
and
days
it'll
later,
be
it's
there.
just right there.
Literally, that's happened to me before, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's
why
happened
didn't
to me
this
too.
person reply to me? Like I asked them a question, and I go to the text, and it's just in
Why
the
haven't you texted me back?
yeah.
Are you
I used to
okay?
have that on, but I took that off.
Did I hurt
I took
you?
it off too because I'm like sometimes I don't want to reply.
Did I hurt you?
I
You
just
can have it on for
happy-
some people.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you text me, I probably see it like the first 2 minutes.
I mean,
Like,
realistically, everybody's seen it. Like the first minute that you send the text, people have seen it.
I don't like the people that have like hundreds of unread messages on their phone. Like, how do you have that many
yeah.
people? Like, how do you
That's
know that many
crazy.
people? They have to be spam messages.
That's
right?
my WhatsApp.
I'm gonna do that. All the spam messages I get, I'm gonna
No,
leave them unread.
I always delete them.
So I look important.
Or like emails. There's people.
Oh, I have new messages. Oh no. It's spam.
Oh, somebody texted me. Aw. Or like emails.
Just
I've seen
spam.
people have like 2,000 emails.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, every time an email comes in, I
I have to delete
it.
or answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just these Gen Zers or what's the new one? Gen
Alpha.
Alpha.
Alpha. What the heck?
They should be
Coming
Gen
out with the
betas.
That's the next one, I think. Gen
That's
Beta.
all 2000s
Yeah,
though.
Alpha.
Like,
Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
who are those like
You're
classified?
Gen
You're
Z.
Gen Z. So Gen Alphas, I
It's
think
every
are
10
like,
years or what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm on the cutoff of millennial and Gen Z.
So Gen Alpha is like the 2010s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 10.
So Mike, you're a millennial, right?
Yeah, millennial.
Oof. You're two, right? You're
I'm in the middle.
You're still classified millennial, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Millennials?
but I don't.
When
But-
were you born? Okay.
She's
We're
a
the
Gen
same.
Z.
We're the
yes.
same. We're Gen Z.
Okay. But I don't relate to
But
like.
y'all are super
things-
different though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
You're old fashioned.
You're more millennial.
Yeah,
than
you're
a
more
Gen Z.
millennial.
Then you try to connect with her being. We're
No,
both
no,
Gen
no.
Z.
But we're the same 4 years, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I'm a Gen Zer, honestly.
I don't think so.
But even
I can
like
see millennial
I don't
and Gen
relate
Z.
to things that like millennials relate to.
Like, oh, whoa.
It's because me, I don't like to try so
Yeah.
hard to fit in that.
Yeah, because millennials
So-
experienced pre-internet, pre-ubiquitous internet. So we had dial-up for a minute.
Yeah, see, I don't know what that
Yeah.
is.
So we went through the struggle. We paid our dues to get this.
Dial up,
Yeah.
not ubiquitous.
I had to walk to the front office to call my mom to make sure she was going to come pick me up.
Wow.
Yeah. Nowadays, you just text them. And
Yeah,
stuff
just like,
that.
hey, pick me up.
Yeah, even during class, like you could text them, hey, I
that was
want to go
that was
home.
middle school.
But even to like show like down to shows and stuff, like TV shows that I grew up watching, like I think I'm more similar to Gen Z than to millennial.
Yeah,
Because,
because for
like-
millennials, it's Friends. That's their show that
That
they
was
love, which is not even
Like
that
I
funny.
watch like Austin and Ally. I watch iCarly. Like
Yeah.
She seems like a
Victoria.
millennial.
So
she
I watched it in
agreed with
secret.
me. Like I was too old for like I don't know.
You were too young?
For like Jesse like that Disney show. Like I was too old for that. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jason.
Hey Jesse. Yeah.
Hey, Jesse.
Like that's when I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
so
that's
millennials,
too old.
we were too poor to have cable, so we didn't watch
watch
Disney.
PBS
So we watched
Kids.
Arthur.
Arthur.
Yeah.
I watched that too, and but I wasn't allowed. The only one I wasn't allowed to watch was Dragon Tales.
Yeah, we had bad TV.
Well, see, like that's why I'm like in the middle because do you remember Zaboomafoo?
I hated that show.
Okay,
Zaboomafoo.
because
monkey.
when
A puppet monkey.
Tamara, when my sisters were growing up, they like switched it to
Wait,
animation.
Was it a real monkey?
Yeah, it was a lemur.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You talking about
Well,
George?
No, hold
That's
on.
Curious George.
Because maybe you know, because when my sisters were growing up, they switched it from
Yeah.
Zaboomafoo to the Wild Kratts, and it was like animation, but it's the same show, but it was like animated. But I watched the original one. Yeah,
Yeah. That's,
you didn't. Well, you had cable probably.
Red
this
Clifford?
is PBS Kids.
Clifford.
Yeah, Red Clifford.
Yeah, it's just.
There's another
Fetch
one.
with Rough Ruffman.
There's another one with what was the name? Caillou. Caillou was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, Caillou.
Everyone
That was
hates
so
Caillou now.
annoying.
You
Now
like
on
Caillou?
TikTok, everyone hates Caillou.
What?
Yeah.
How about Red Clifford?
My generation read
Clifford the
books.
Big
We would
Red
read
Dog.
books.
You like that one?
Martha Speaks.
Arthur?
Do
Okay,
you
I
remember
guess
that one?
Yeah, I read that one.
Yeah.
Or Word Girl. Arthur.
I rented books from the library in cassettes.
Cyber Chase. Which one?
Cassettes.
You watch cassettes?
I listened to cassettes for AR
Dinosaur
points.
Train was good. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they had all the Arthur books
Did you
in
do that too?
cassette.
I don't know what that.
Now that I think about it, man, I was so lazy because Arthur books are like
They're like 20 pages
they're like
long.
comic books. Yeah, it was a different world. It's crazy that we experienced.
I was always so excited when I would get an Arthur book and it was an episode that I watched. I was like, "Ooh, I've seen this one before."
Yeah, it's just.
Did you have AR points?
accelerated reader?
What is that?
Because over there it probably didn't have it in.
Oh, it's Texas only.
Yeah, because you got here in high school. And
You missed out.
I mean, they probably had it, but I don't think anybody was doing that in high school.
I don't know.
Not in high school.
Accelerator points.
It was so you would read books and then you would like take a quiz online, and you would get points about the book.
And
I
then
think
the
that was
more-
like assignments.
Huh?
That was
Yeah,
like
something.
It was like
assignments.
it wasn't for fun, but it was like for fun. Like
Because you get points
you
and
get
then you
points and
accumulate
then
them,
yeah,
and you could
could
cash
redeem
them in for like the
field
high
trip,
price was like a
yeah.
field trip to Peter Piper Pizza.
Oh no, we don't have stuff like that. No.
Or you would get the Pizza Hut bucket thingies.
Or you could get one eraser, a
pencil.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any like school programs,
We
like
did,
fun
but-
ones.
But not like
After school
that.
lunch.
That's not a program. The Scholastic Book Fair is not a program.
I honestly don't remember. It was a while back.
There's nothing like going to the Scholastic Book Fair to get a
An
bookmark.
eraser?
A bookmark.
Because everything was so expensive. Or they would give you the little booklet before like the book fair's coming next week. And then
Yeah,
like you
book
can
fairs.
order your books and I would be like, "Oh, I want that book." My mom would be like, "No, I'm not gonna pay $20 for a book."
Yeah.
My mom would give me like $1. She'd be like, "Buy whatever."
You, oh
Yeah.
yeah, those
big
are-
pencil.
Or I would want a poster and they were like, "They're $5." But I mean, why did I want a
gotta
poster
make
of a
money.
book?
Scholastics need to make money.
Nerd.
I have a book.
Did you have the book fair?
Yeah, we have book fair. It's fun.
I'm just like,
How many books did you read
As a
from?
kid,
How many books did you read in high school?
oh
I don't remember.
no, I read a lot in high school,
I don't think
but
I read
I didn't read
one
for
full
fun.
book.
I read for assignments.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't remember.
What books? You didn't read any book in high
Yeah,
school?
I mean,
I don't
didn't
remember.
either. I don't-
Really?
They're required, but I was that student.
I was just so
That-
smart.
No, like I don't know what I was thinking.
You would read Spark Notes?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
so
I
would
would
I.
write essays on that, like, or whatever the assignment
Yeah, we
was.
just do like assignment stuff.
And I would take AR tests without reading books. I would take all the Harry Potter ones and I would just try to guess. And if I got a 60, I'd be so happy.
This is probably so bad. We would have somebody take the test and just get all the answers and then
Oh, yeah.
give them to us.
Yeah, we can edit that out.
I mean, it's been so long. What are they
That-
going to do? Take away my field trips?
That's like college nowadays with like Quizlet and stuff.
Make
like
you pay
that.
for other people's
Oh.
field trips.
Yeah.
Chat GPT, right? That's what it's
Yeah,
called.
AI is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, like how it works.
Yeah.
I don't
How do they
get
know
it.
so much?
Have you seen that?
They program
It's like
it
on,
too.
on Photoshop, and you can like select an area and be like, add a tree here, and it adds like a
Yeah, that's
realistic
crazy.
looking tree. That's so
That's
scary.
cray. That's crazy.
It's innovative, but I mean, it's
To what extent? Have you seen Age of Ultron?
Kind of like.
What about it?
You've
What about
he's
it?
an AI.
He was the first AI. Like
Yeah,
he
he's
gets.
Jarvis.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're
he
right,
gets
you're-
too powerful. Like,
Jarvis.
he gets
He
he
killed
gets his
Jarvis.
conscience of how
Yeah,
powerful
he
he
took
is.
over Jarvis.
Where-
He's AI
Where did he came from again? Oh yeah, Tony.
He came from Elon Musk's brain.
from Tony Stark's brain.
Oh man, that was crazy. Jarvis.
Like,
Jarvis got.
you think
killed.
that could happen for reals?
Hombre,
It's AI. Anything could happen.
hombre.
Like, I remember when we used to be
I
like,
don't think
robots
it
are going to
happened.
take over the world. And now it's like, no, like, literally. Like, my computer can literally, like, do anything.
I don't think. I'm not threatened
Not to
by
that
AI.
extent.
I'm not threatened by robots.
No.
I saw a post and I was like, I'll just throw a bottle of water on them.
that's
What are they going to do?
What about the waterproof ones now? Huh?
I mean, now
Water
our phones are
resistance.
waterproof
To
now.
an extent, they're waterproof.
You're gonna have so many water bottles.
Yeah. A bucket hose.
God will have to redo the flood to get rid of all the robots.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't swim. I'm going to go down with the
Throw you a
robots.
floaty.
Because I don't know how to swim.
Throw you a floaty. Órale.
There's like theories that like the Antichrist is gonna be AI.
A robot. I don't know.
The way you said it, like
What? It's what?
Me? You're laughing at me?
no, my.
What did I say that was
Just-
funny?
The way you said it. There's a theory. That
There's theories, yeah.
the
I mean-
Antichrist is gonna be AI.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Oh man.
That's true. That's a theory.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, you think God would have been like telling Moses and, hey, in the future there's gonna be AI?
No.
You'd be like, what is that?
No way.
Well, I mean, it doesn't
Or
say
like John the
AI, but
Baptist.
just a. Because if we really think about it, if AI would be a form of the Antichrist or its vessel, what is? It's really just a theory of thinking, in which you connect everyone to one sole source of information. So then,
But there has to be somebody behind the AI, no?
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. I blocked him on Twitter. He's so
Why'd you
annoying.
He was in.
What was he telling you?
I don't know. I just didn't like his
He was
tweets
live.
coming
It was
out.
DM.
He was live in here in the valley, somewhere close to the valley.
In Boca Chica.
No. He was at a border,
Oh.
and he was
Starcraft.
dressed as a cowboy.
For real?
Yeah, they're talking about the
He
immigration.
went to the Brownsville Fest or something like that,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
saw
He was
that.
walking
Yeah.
around.
He was
Oh, that
taking
was like
pictures
last
with
year
everybody.
or earlier this year.
I remember that one.
How did he become famous? Just Tesla.
His companies.
I
He got
never
rich
heard
in
of him
business.
before Tesla.
Either.
I think
Is
he had
he like-
another company before Tesla. I
Is
think
he
has
really
a ton of
smart,
companies.
or he's just like a troll, or he's both?
I think he is. I think he's super smart. I don't think you could get that rich without social media or being super smart.
And he does both.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. He also owns. What does he own? Does he own PayPal?
He
Twitter?
owns Facebook
Or
owns
the new-
PayPal, I think.
Facebook también.
He owes one of Venmo. He owes one of the money.
Venmo, I think
one
it's
of the
Venmo,
one,
yeah.
of, one of the money.
I think Mark
That's
Zuckerberg
what
owns
I'm saying.
PayPal. I think so, because
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and
Metaverse.
which crashed. But oh yeah,
Imagine being that rich. Whoa.
What would you do?
I buy a house. Pay off my student loans.
like I don't know why. I don't even start student loans.
We're gonna have a GoFundMe for our student
Yeah,
loans.
I just don't understand why. Well, anyways, but I don't understand, like, not about student loans, but why.
I don't know.
I understand student loans, but I don't understand why these people that are so rich, like
Don't give us
Bezos,
money.
Musk, who else is the richest people in the world? Like, why do they want to be in the limelight? Like, I don't understand that. Like, they could go buy an island, live like live
I
amazing
don't
life.
understand
like, and
why they
never
don't
be
give
in
us
the
like
light.
$1,000 each.
Never be in the light.
I think that's what comes with it. No, like we were talking about before, like blessing comes with burden. Like you have to, if you're gonna be that rich, like you're gonna be well known.
Yeah, but then there's a lot of rich people that
Yeah.
no one-
Nobody knows it.
Yeah, like they just
But we don't know them here. But maybe where they're from, they know them.
kind of like what we're talking about, like Taylor Lautner. Like Taylor Lautner, he made all his money with Twilight, made a couple bad movies after, and then he's just like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this.
And now he's back.
And now he married Taylor Lautner, and he lives an amazing life. I mean, he did. He married
It's
Taylor
so
Lautner.
it's so like
Married
out of
Taylor
context
Lautner.
talking just randomly about Taylor Lautner.
But I mean, it doesn't even have to be him. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of like actors that did that. Like, trying to think.
Like Cameron Diaz, I think she's not in Hollywood anymore. I think she like left Hollywood because she was
but
like, it's too
I think
much
she
for me.
retired. She was kind of old already.
But you can't really retire from being famous.
I'm trying to think. What's like? There's a lot of these child stars that kind of do this.
Oh, like
Like, they
Jesse
make-
McCartney.
They make their money and then they just like disappear. Like Steve Urkel, right? He never did anything.
Who's
again.
that?
Oh, he was. Oh, like the Olsen twins. Oh, they kind of spiraled out of control, right? Never mind.
Yeah, but they're like, they only did their stuff when they were little, right?
And then I think
New
they had
York
companies
Minute.
and stuff. Like, I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of these like make their money and then just. Like,
Well, I
go
think
away.
like Bill Gates isn't like in the news.
I mean,
He's still alive. Or
Bill
he's
Gates?
dead?
No, he's alive.
Yeah,
the
he-
Apple guy's dead.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. But,
But even the CEO of Apple, like
Tim Cook. Yeah.
he's not in the news. It's just I think if you want to be,
Yeah,
in the
that's
news.
what I'm saying. Like, why would they want like?
Oh,
I understand if Elon Musk, he's probably eventually going to run for president. Like,
can he? He's not American.
is he? I don't know. He's
not
with that.
American.
South African.
I thought you don't
Yeah,
have to
he's
be
South
American.
You have to
You have
be.
to be a
American.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think you have to be. That's why Arnold Schwarzenegger was not able to run for it.
He's governor, but he.
That's true. Why is everyone? Arnold Schwarzenegger was in
wanted-
politics
yeah.
and he wanted to run
He
for
was
president.
governor
Yeah,
of California.
But don't they have to like become a citizen and then they can run?
I don't think they can.
I think you have to be.
They have to be born in
Let's
the
Google
USA.
it because I'm not too sure.
That's
I
why.
think
That's
that's what I
why.
heard,
But
like,
that's
they
why
have to
they were
become
saying like
citizens.
Barack Obama couldn't be the president.
Requirement to be.
But I
president.
mean, he was born in the United States. But they're like he was born in Kenya.
Yeah, you have to be a natural born citizen of the U.S., be at least 35 years old, and you have to have been a resident of the U.S. for 14 years.
To run for president.
You're not 35 years old.
The unfair thing about running for president,
we start or
is it's dumb that you have to be rich. That's why I don't.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not fair.
But you also have to have been in politics. Like you're not. They're just not going to pick
Except
somebody
unless you're
randomly
Donald
off the
Trump.
street. He was in business.
And Ronald Reagan,
Yeah.
right? Ronald Reagan was an actor too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
there's
I guess
gonna
you have to be rich.
there's gonna be another president in the future that
He's an influencer.
yeah.
He's a TikToker.
that
Can you imagine a TikToking president? Huh?
next year.
Next year.
Yeah, midterms for next year. I mean, not midterms, the actual election for president next year. Probably going to be a repeat of 4 years ago.
Oh.
But I think someone like The Rock might run for president, like in the not so distant
You think
future.
he would win?
No.
Like Kanye, right?
I think The Rock is more liked than Kanye.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think he would win.
You think Kanye is gonna run again?
I don't think it
You
matters.
think he's like unhinged?
I think he's just like so much popularity, depression, anxiety. Like it's just so much. He's getting pulled in so many different directions. He doesn't know what's what. It's just sad. It's a sick case for a lot
Is
of
that
celebrities.
just like growing up or being around that industry? Because I mean, like seeing it from an outside perspective, I'm like, it's common sense. Like
I think
like,
you get so
those decisions, like certain decisions, where I'm like, why would you do that? It's just common sense not to do that.
I think he just gets so sucked into this world where they're forced to make content or forced to like make headlines that they
They come desensitized. Like
Yeah.
The rules don't apply to me.
Like all these, I don't know if y'all know, like all these streamers that are going famous now. Like one of them was saying like everything that they were going through didn't feel real. That they felt like they were playing Grand Theft Auto or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just morph into this thing and they view it like as a video game. So
Yeah.
yeah, like, there's a movie like that. It's called what's it called? I can't remember.
That's so crazy because I mean, I don't know. I can't even picture my life like not being tangible, like living in real life.
Yeah, I don't think I would want that.
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
I think I'd rather be poor.
I feel like being famous is not
Like
enviable.
than be in the limelight. No
I
thanks.
feel like there's a perfect like
Balance.
yeah.
You have to be like a B-list celebrity, a C-list celebrity. Because then everything you do gets like scrutinized. Like, ooh, she walked the wrong way. Or like, she's wearing pants. Or, you know, like the smallest things like get scrutinized. No. I would just want to be rich.
I mean, but
Just
even that,
comfortable.
there's advantages to that, disadvantages to that.
I just want to be
Responsibility.
financially stable.
There we go. That's it.
I think in the beginning it's like exciting and stuff, and then
Yeah.
after a while it's like, what's your next high that you want?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we see. I guess kind of answer the question. Like, why do these rich people want to be in the limelight? Because that's their new high.
Yeah.
They have all the money in the world, and it doesn't like satisfy.
Like I remember my mom told when I first started working, my parents were like, oh, because I started working before I went to college, right? And they were like, don't get addicted to the money and just think like, oh, I don't need college anymore. Like, because I'm gonna be making good money and my job before studying.
Yeah.
Like, don't just think, oh, then I don't need it. Because then you get addicted to the money and you're like, oh, I want more.
That's why I'm interested to see what happens with after like the social media age ends, or because there's all these kids making a lot of money on TikTok and Instagram. Like, eventually that money's gonna like run out. Like, the smart ones, of course, are probably investing in businesses, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are burning through it.
So do
Buy
you
a
think that
Lamborghini.
social media is going to die out or no?
Not that it's gonna die out, but eventually TikTok's gonna not be popular anymore.
You think so? I don't know.
Because TikTok has been, it really boomed in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. So it started like 2020. It's barely 2023. I don't know.
But like Facebook hasn't died out.
Yeah, but Facebook is like you stay connected with your family, your friends. That's the reason Facebook hasn't died out. TikTok,
I feel like TikTok's like YouTube.
In a sense,
Like
yeah.
you, like I still watch YouTube videos. Like
I watch YouTube more than TikTok. Honestly, I'm on YouTube all day.
I watch
Background
YouTube
music
more.
and stuff like that.
I get TikToks for people who don't have a long attention span.
Yeah, I don't think it lasts very long. I mean, it's not gonna go. It's just not gonna be as popular as it is. Kind of like Snapchat is.
Well, yeah. Apparently, your like attention span's like relative to your age. So like, the amount of years is supposed to be a minute of your attention span. So like, if you're 12, you have 12 minutes of attention span.
So you have to be 400 years old to watch Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh man.
Because like I think I have a good attention span. No, I don't like reading.
You don't like reading anymore?
I only like reading the Bible.
I don't like reading.
What?
I rather like
that's the only thing
audio
I can
listen
read.
to the
Like
Bible.
I'm not joking. That's the only thing I can read. I can't read any like
The
I'll
Bible.
try. Like, I'll try to read like self-help books, and I just.
It shifted for me now. I like to read.
You like to read now?
No. Yeah.
What are you reading right now?
Right now, aside from the Bible, like here and there, like I go back to the.
Did you ever finish that book I gave you, the John Maxwell?
I'm
book?
almost done, but I always
That
go
was a
back.
big book.
I always go back to it, like because there's some good parts. I always there's like
long,
let me go
though.
back to it.
How many
Let me
pages
go back
is
to
it? 500, 600?
I guess.
It's
Yeah.
like a Harry Potter book.
Yeah. I read those.
I always
I like
see
reading like little articles too. You know, just.
Oh, that's not the same.
Well, but it's reading though. Like compared to me,
But you
I would
can't-
not like to
But
read.
you
Yeah,
can't
I
say
kinda
like
like
I like to
reading.
read when you read
I
articles.
kind of reading because there's a lot of people that just read the headlines.
But that's the thing. Like I never
don't
liked to
click.
read before, so
I think
At all.
that's also a
Yeah.
problem.
You saw words and you're like, no.
I was just like, it's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's boring.
Sometimes I'll scroll to the article. I'm like, oh, I'm not reading this.
I would rather listen to the audiobook
I can't do that. I don't know why.
or like watch it.
watch someone read it.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, I'd rather watch somebody reading the book to me. I know it sounds weird,
That's
but like,
a first.
I mean, I don't think I've like that's happened to me, but like I would rather that happen than me like sit there and read.
Just watch someone read to you.
Like I always see like girls on TikTok and they're like, I'm reading this book, or they post on Instagram like this book is so good. And I'm like, I just can't. Like I can't even picture myself when in the time of day I would read.
Right before bed. I think that's when most people read. They calm down their minds. Most people are probably on TikTok right before
yeah,
bed.
I'm on TikTok. Do you
Or
ever
first
get
thing in the
those?
morning is a good time to read too.
Yeah. Do you ever get those TikToks that are just like, okay, it's too late for you. You should turn off your phone.
I don't know. I'm not
You
on
don't
TikTok
get
that
those?
much.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, oh no, I get it. Like, you've been scrolling too long. It's time to go to bed. And I'm like, it's 3 p.m. What do you mean? I've never done that. That's funny.
I'm not on it that much. Kind of off TikTok. My algorithm's boring.
You can
Yeah.
reset it.
Yeah, but
Here and there, I just don't. Because then I would just be there all day.
after my algorithm was all about the rapture, I was like,
You're like, okay,
I
that's
just
too
don't
much.
understand.
already.
Like these every year, these people try to predict stuff.
I'm mostly on Instagram than anything else.
You're mostly on Snapchat.
No, not anymore. I'm mostly on Instagram.
What do you do on Instagram?
I look at a lot of stuff.
At Reels.
Reels.
That's like TikTok.
What do you mean?
Reels
I
are-
know it's like that, but it's IG. It's Instagram.
I guess.
Yeah. So we'll circle back. Maybe social media is the thing that we have to.
Give up.
Yeah, I give up.
I feel like
Or just reprioritize.
Yeah, I mean
keep it low.
that's kind of like
you can put like parental locks on your phone, I think.
that's kind of like
parental.
AI.
Telling you
Social
when you're
media.
not supposed
Yes,
No, 'cause
like it
social
tells
media-
it tells you like, okay, you have 30 minutes left of using this app today, and it'll like lock it, and you can't use it till the
to just
next day.
delete it.
But yeah, you can
That's
just
what I
turn it
do.
off.
Because if we really think about it, social media does dictate how you think about things,
Yeah.
and that's the way. That's the dangerous part.
And that's the way
That's the danger of AI. That's why when I say social media is not real life, like that's why I say that. Because you could be on your Twitter feed. I use Twitter a lot, so I say Twitter. So you could be on your Twitter feed and think, oh, like this is so everyone believes this, and then you go on the outside and people laugh at you, like, why are you believing that stuff? I don't know.
Would the world have been better off without social media?
I think so.
Oh,
No, not really, because I like to watch people like like play guitar better.
I think it's just subjective
Drums.
because there are good things about it and then there are bad things about it. For example, the good things, you connect with people, you could see other people's stories, things like that. The bad thing is it's toxic
Yeah.
and it's addictive, it's toxic, and it's hurt so many people's egos, or not even their egos, just about their
Egos?
self-perception.
How?
Self-esteem is what I was trying to say.
Oh, so the egos.
People have committed suicide over social
with your
media.
ego. Ego is what you believe about yourself, right? Like,
People have gone to depression because of social media.
That's another one.
Because they don't have the amount of likes, followers. But yeah, I think we're good. Episode 7, I think.
episode 7.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Next week.